Hello everyone, it's Tilly from Tilly Journals. Welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. I am planning the week of the 9th of December 2024 in my A5 wide Tilly Journals inserts in a vertical format using this holiday shopping mystery kit from Plannerface. Sorry, I don't know why as soon as I start recording a voiceover I start yawning. This was a mystery kit in this last year. I can't remember, I suspect October mystery kit. Then with that I am using a mixed metal champagne lights and gold foil bundle from Scribble Prints Co. along with underlays from both Scribble Prints Co. So I'm using the kit foil bundle underlays plus some luxe underlays also from Scribble Prints Co., which came in the Scribble Prints Co. advent that she did ages ago. That was that colour, and also paired with those I'm using some holly underlays in sparkly red from my shop. However, these are not an underlay that is going to be available, at least in this current format, because they just don't foil well enough. So I think that's it for the base. I've also got some little bits of a Caress Press Rainbow Luxe kit that I've pulled in to like bring out the luxe a little bit more and stuff like that. I do have 3 extenders this week. Oh my god, why do I start yawning when I start recording a voiceover? I don't know what happens, I'm not that tired. So I've got an extender on the Tuesday and then on both the Saturday and Sunday, which allowed me to do my favourite thing with the double boxes, which is an outside scene open up to an inside scene, and I think it's stunning and I'm obsessed with how that came out. I used a toolbox in the sidebar because I did have 4 books to put in the... I finished 4 books this week, so I had 4 books to put in the sidebar, and yeah. That's kind of everything I have to say, I think, about like the base and stuff. So we'll start getting into the books that I read this week. I think these are a little while ago. It is the 4th of January when I'm recording this voiceover, so it's nearly a month ago, so I don't remember them as well as I remember some books, but I will talk about them as best I can. And I just realised I definitely put down the wrong way round 2 of the books on my sidebar, so I will have to go and change that because one of them I really didn't enjoy and one of them was fine, so I do not want them that way around, because one of them was 1.5 stars and the other was 4, which is very, very, very different. So let us start with the first one I finished, which was Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. So this is what got 1.5 stars, and I've put accidentally 4 stars. I got this in a Illumicrate box. It is not a book I would necessarily have bought. I'm not a sports girly, I'm not an F1 girly, and when I talked to Beth of Beth Plans, who loves Formula 1, she said she thinks she DNF'd this book because of how inaccurate the F1 talk was, but I can't comment on that. But yeah, I'm not the only person that didn't really enjoy it. I was using it for a sports romance prompt for a reading challenge, otherwise I probably would have DNF'd it. I am definitely going to be selling on. But I know that Adele, who I also talked about this book to, loved it, so yeah, and she's a Formula 1 girly as well, so I don't know. But anyway, so this is about Willow, who begins working to repair her brother's best friend Dev's image, who happens to be an F1 driver, and she's had a crush on him like her entire life. Dev's in desperate need of an image reboot if he wants to have a chance at getting on a better team, and he hires Willow to manage his social media, but he can't stop thinking about a kiss they shared nearly 12 months ago, but he has to for both of their sakes. So I wanted to love this book. I really, really did. I have a lot of friends that love F1, and sports aren't really my thing. I'm not going to lie. I'm not particularly sporty myself. I don't follow any sports. Yeah. I felt like this book dragged so much. It was so difficult for me to relate to or sympathise with Dev or Willow. And it's got loads of things I normally like in romances, like friends to lovers, brother's best friend, especially one where the brother actually doesn't approve. A huge diverse rep, travel, disability rep. I just couldn't love the book. I found the will they won't they, we know they will, a bit endless, and all the talk about how the brother wouldn't approve just got me rolling my eyes. It was just like every other sentence for quite a long time. It's very light-hearted. It doesn't have a third act breakup, which is a big plus for it, but unless you're interested in F1, I'm not gonna say I would recommend this book. And as I said, I gave it 1.5 stars, so yeah, bit damning review from me. We're going to talk about my other disappointing read of the week, which was the audiobook of The Tempest of Tea. Again, I know this is loved, so I don't know what's wrong with me. Honestly, I finished these 2 books and I was in such a reading slump, and then I read Cruel Winter with You, which I'm going to talk about next, and I gave that 5 stars, so I was like, thank God. So Arthur and Jin have known each other for a long time, so when their tea room, read blood room, is at risk, they decide the best thing to do is to break into the vampire society. I can't even say the next word. Arathium. With a crew of not necessarily trustworthy people, will they be able to keep their secrets and save their shop, or is everything going to fall apart? This was again another disappointing read for me. I just wasn't invested. There were too many points of view, there were too many like different storyline bits going on, and it just didn't flow. It like as the twists started to show themselves, you'd like jumped around, and it would have been helpful to know chapters ago, and then it was finally revealed, and then it kind of fit together, but it didn't because of the way the story was structured. No. There was way too much planning and talk between the characters, and it was just really boring read. If it hadn't, again, been for a reading challenge, because it was a group read, I would have DNF'd this. And if it had been a physical or ebook, I almost certainly would have DNF'd it as well. But because it was an audiobook, I could be doing other things. And so then I still followed the story, even though it wasn't engaging at all. So yeah, they're my 2 disappointing reads of the week. So let's talk about my 2 nicer reads of the week. So the first one is Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. This is a novella and was part of the Christmas little Amazon series thing that they did. I am going to say Under the Mistletoe with You is what it was called. They are incredibly steamy. As a collection, there is steam galore in novellas, which kind of doesn't leave that much room for romance, but this one was actually really good. So, in a snowstorm, Jamie has to borrow a copper pan from Mark, her best friend's brother. But because of the storm, they end up stuck together and reminiscing their history and their feelings for one another right up until things changed a few months ago. This was truly a 5-star read for me. Or did I just devour it in one session after being in a reading rut with both my last 2 books being, not great? Who knows? I know it definitely deserves 4.5 stars, but it made me feel warm and great inside, so it got the 5 stars. It's super cozy, it's warm, it makes you smile, it has the classic Ali Hazelwood awkward but lovely steam. I related to some of the things Jamie said about her via her career in medicine and how she felt in training. For those of you who don't know, that I am a doctor, and I think this just was the absolute perfect read for me at the right time. I actually ended up going off sick this week in real life, and I think I just needed that read right then. And with all of Ali Hazelwood's heroes, Mark is so lovely. I don't know if I didn't notice, but it didn't feel like their size difference was mentioned 1,001 times like it often is in Ali Hazelwood books. But I have to say, in some of the Under the Mistletoe with You books, there was a lot of mention of a giant, tiny. But anyway. Last but not least, we have Let It Snow, which, unlike my sidebar says, I actually gave 4 stars to. So this is about Bea, who's a local weather girl and only a few months out of a long-term relationship. She's finally going home for Christmas after having to work most of the recent years, but her family have got the insufferable Henry there too, the boy they wanted her to marry. So when she gets a last-minute interview for her dream job, she's so excited, except it's in Scotland and there's a snowstorm coming. So Henry comes to her rescue and offers to drive her there, and to be honest, he's not who she thought he was at all. So this is a romance, slice of life, Christmassy read. It's nothing groundbreaking or spectacular, but it's a nice, cozy holiday read. Bea can be a little bit insufferable at times. I didn't always agree with her decisions or how she spoke to her family, but yeah, I couldn't help rolling my eyes. But then that's how a person is, really. They are always going to do things that you don't like or you don't approve of or whatever. The romance did need a bit more development. There was a lot of focus on an ex, and I think we needed some more honest family conversations, but otherwise it was an enjoyable read and like exactly the sort of like Christmassy read I want to be reading. I am a 2 books on the go kind of girly. I have a physical and an audiobook always. physical / ebook and an audio always, and normally that works really well, but in both of the 2 books I was reading, the ex was called Adam, and they were both Christmassy romances, and it got a bit confusing at times. It's no fault of the book, but I just thought it was interesting that both of the exes were called Adam. I actually read this book. No, I didn't. The other book I read for Peaches and Pages book club, so I'll talk about that next week. So that is it for my reviews this week. So it's time to get into what happened this week, and I better get into it because I am quite behind where I normally would be because I had a lot to say about those books. So on Monday, the first thing that I marked in is that I slept really badly. I then did some bits in my planner. I think I was a bit behind. I hadn't done them on the Sunday, like my normal planner bits on a Sunday, so I did them then. I then did some editing of a video and wrote my Christmas letter. I can't remember why me and Soph didn't have a call this week, but we didn't. I feel like it was because of... I can't remember. It was her sale the week before. I think Sophie wasn't very well this week. That's why we didn't do a call. We actually don't do another call through till New Year, but yeah. Well, I hope we'll do one on Monday, this Monday that's coming, but we've not done one since then. Then I worked on my Christmas letter, which is something I send with my Christmas cards, just to like update family and friends on how our year had gone. Then I took a bit of a nap, and then I had an appointment with Lucy, who is my care co from the perinatal team, my mental health nurse from the perinatal team, and we talked a lot about my mood because I was really struggling. Then after that I did film a plan with me, and that is the plan with me I would have filmed on the video call with Soph if we'd done one, and I finished off the day with just doing some odd jobbies. On to Tuesday, I was at work, though I was not actually at work for that long because I then had paediatric BLS, and then I had an appointment with the perinatal doctor, Dr. Gilligan, so I saw her and we increased my quetiapine again, which has definitely helped, which is nice. I spoke to her on Christmas Eve and told her that, but I look forward to actually seeing her and her being able to see how much better I'm doing, because it's unreal. It's like my meds actually work and I need them at like a proper dose. Basically, you metabolize quetiapine more during pregnancy, which is why we increased it. I then went and did some little bits of Christmas shopping before we had some GP teaching, which I think was online that day. Then took a nap, did some reading, and then it was time for guides, and we were doing, oh god, sorry, I don't know why I get so yawny, and I don't know why I apologise for it, because it's like a natural body function, but anyway. Then we did guides, we did skills builder, which is part of the programme in Girl Guiding. Then me and my husband made a Christmas playlist, which was like our Advent activity for the week, and we did some reading to our little one, Bump, and our little baby. So yeah. On to the Wednesday, I spent the morning baking with my mum and then went for a walk afterwards to get my steps in. I then did a load of goal setting. I've then marked in that was really sad, but actually I wasn't that down at this point. I actually made planners first, and then I was just feeling really low and I was really struggling. And it was not a good day. It was not a good week. It was not a good anything really. So then I did my pre-planning for my January bullet journal. I read some of Cross the Line, and I had some memory planning time, I think. Yeah, I was doing a load of memory planning to finish off Wednesday. On to Thursday, I went to work. However, I was absolutely exhausted and really not feeling myself, and ended up coming home on sick leave. I was so low and in my feelings. It was crappy. Had a long cuddle with my husband and decided that I needed a sick note and I needed to take the rest of this week off and next week, and then have some leave over Christmas, annual leave over Christmas, and then hopefully that would be enough time. I have gone back in the new year. I haven't decided yet whether it's the right thing. I've only done 2 shifts so far. It's only the 4th of January, so yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I do only have 30 shifts this year and we've done 2 of them, so I'm hoping I can just get through the rest of them, but we'll see. It will depend on my mood. As I've said, things are going better, so hopefully I won't need another sick note. But my GP was like, yeah, if you need another one or longer, just tell me, and she's written that in my notes. She was like, may need longer. Anyway, so we had lots of cuddles, and then we just had some rest time and some self-care, and then this is the day I read Cruel Winter with You, and it was just, yeah, exactly what I needed on that day. It was everything, which is why I got 5 stars. On to Friday, I marked in that I was off sick at home, and then I was reading The Night Before Christmas, which I will talk about next week, which is the Peaches and Pages read for December. Then I did some memory planning because I was having a nice restful day, so again I've marked in resting. I did go for a walk to make sure I got some steps in, did some crocheting, read to bump, and then I did some more Bujo planning for January because I was trying to get nice and ready. On to Saturday, I did some more reading. I read more of The Night Before Christmas, and then we went to our little Christmas town festival, which was like lots of food shops and other shops, and there was singing and there were food carts and stuff. It was a lot of fun. I did get some Christmas shopping done there. It was quite nice to be able to do that, and like, yeah, it was nice to get out of the house and do something Christmassy and feel a bit more Christmassy. So I feel like this kit really worked for this week, although this is not like how fancy this is not the vibe of my town Christmas festival. I thought it worked really well because I was doing holiday shopping, although I think the next week I actually go to Meadowhall, so would have worked for that week too, but this is the week I've used it for. I then did some walking to get the rest of my steps in, and did a load of editing. I edited my 2025 bullet journal video this day, and it was so long to edit it, so there's that. I then filmed some of my January bullet journal setup. I finished it the next day, but I did quite a lot of it this day as well. Had some cuddles with my hubby, and we had a long chat about Soch, who was also feeling like quite down and like bleh. So we had a long chat about how he was doing and his emotions and things, and I love that we have that sort of relationship. I love that Soch will be open with me and that we are so open and honest with each other, and just, yeah, having a partner you can talk to about your feelings is really important. And yeah, we just had a long, really raw and emotional talk. So obviously I was feeling quite like afterwards and sad, so I was in my feelings, and I've just marked that I had a good cry because, yeah, we both cried a lot during that conversation. I then worked on and finished my Christmas letter, which really needed doing because I really needed to get on with my Christmas cards. Did I though? We'll see. Anyway, and then finished off the day by reading to Bump. We are reading to them nearly every day if we can. I do try and mark it most days because it feels special, but I don't always. If like I've got 9 things including read to Bump, it sometimes goes because it's just like I don't want to do an extender just for reading to Bump. Finally, on to Sunday, I slept really, really badly this night and woke up so early, and I'm talking like 5 a.m. So whilst my husband was still asleep, I sat and filmed the rest of my January bullet journal setup. So I'd done that before he even got out of bed, and then I sat and did some crocheting. I then went and gave Soch a cuddle in bed because it was till this point that he was still sleeping. He didn't get up particularly late either. I then had to make a planner. I think it was one that I sent out incorrectly, or one that she hadn't ordered quite what she wanted, and I was editing it for her. I can't remember which of those it was. Then I did the voiceover and editing for the really long 2025 bullet journal setup, which was like an hour-long voiceover. Then we put up our Christmas lights outside, which was so nice. Then I went for a walk to get my steps in. I was feeling pretty low and in my feelings, shock, horror. I was quite poorly at this point, and I was going off work, and it's not a surprise that I've marked in my feels most days. We did do some reading to Bump, and then I filmed a normal plan with me / finished my the very last of my January setup, I think. So yeah, that is it for the week. I did actually time that pretty well. I'm quite impressed. I normally go off on more tangents and end up a little bit behind, but we're doing pretty well. We're putting in those last 2 things. I have put film plan with me, so I think I must have filmed a plan with me, not my January bullet journal setup, but I can't have done because it would have been this week's plan with me. I don't know. Anyway, I did some filming. Here is the foil wiggle. It is absolutely stunning. I love the mix of the gold and the champagne lights. Here are my leftovers. There is a lot because it was a mystery kit, so I have lots and lots of things there. So that's there, and then these are the foil leftovers, including some hole protectors, etc., and I will potentially keep some of those. I put them in the pile to sort out. That is it for this video. Comment, like down below. Let me know if you like this kit. Did you use this kit this year? Will you pick it up next year? comment, like down below, all that kind of jazz. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!